Welcome everyone to another episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. Your boy Captain Mount here. Today I'm joined by
Weapon 2.
And today we're bringing you an official review of The Umbrella Academy Season 1. So Umbrella Academy is a Netflix original series. Weapon 2, why don't you tell the kids at home what it's about?
Well, Umbrella Academy is a comic book from Dark Horse. It is this is what I describe it as: Lemony Snicket meets Preacher meets X-Men. And it starts with kind of a strange beginning where they say like there's 43 kids that are born, but at the beginning, like an immaculate conception, because nobody really knows what caused it. At the beginning of the day, their mothers weren't pregnant, and all of a sudden they have kids, all of them, all over the world. There is a billionaire industrialist named Sir Reginald. Hargreaves,
yeah.
And he purchases.
Like how much do you want for
I
it?
don't know if that's like even legal to do that. Purchases 7 kids. The 7 kids he identifies as numbers. Number 1 is Luther. He's like a strong guy. You got number 2, who is Diego, who throws knives. You can like throw them around corners and
He's
stuff.
like the movie Wanted.
Exactly.
Curve and everything.
3 is Aldous, who's like called a rumor, who like says stuff and people has to do it. 4 is Klaus, who talks to the dead. Then you got 5, who's just known as 5. He's just a boy. He's a young guy, but he is an awesome character. Klaus is one of my other characters, and Diego by the chance.
Klaus and Diego are my 2 favorite characters.
They're
for sure.
I love them. Then who else do we have? We got Ben. Ben, who is like a huge tentacled monster wearing a human skin suit. And then you have, and he's number 6, and you have 7.
Ben was 5.
What's
Doesn't
that?
matter. Yeah, so they're all numbered.
No, 5 was a time traveler.
That's right. He was a teleporter.
5.
Okay.
Okay, Ben is number 6, and you got 7 who
Doesn't have any powers.
at the beginning doesn't have any powers.
So basically you have like this really eccentric, crazy dude who goes around purchasing all these kids that have special powers, and he trains them basically to be like a little superhero team. So this is where the X-Men kind of theme comes in. They're all in this big mansion. He's training them. Doesn't like love them or care about them in any way, shape, or form. He's actually kind of a raging asshole to them. He does build like a pretty hot mom robot to take care of them. There's also like a chimpanzee that can walk and talk. That's never completely explained.
What was his name? Pogo?
Pogo? It was
I think it was Pogo.
But he's also one of the coolest characters.
And he talks, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's very sophisticated. He's kind of like Beast.
Yes.
But yeah, so the story takes place with them all having gone their separate ways, and then, spoiler alert, we get lots of flashbacks to them as children, as to how they were trained and how rough their life was and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't really know anything about the Umbrella Academy going into this. I'd heard of it, I knew it was a comic, I didn't know much about it. So I went into this kind of blind, and it quickly became one of my new favorite shows.
Exactly.
It is outstanding. It blends comedy and drama and storytelling very well.
The characters are awesome.
And it's a very character-driven story, which is the best kind. Like Klaus, for example, part of the reason he's one of my favorite characters is he's just a raging addict, just wanting to party, just like doesn't give a fuck about anything. But as they dive deeper,
I think he's trying to block out all these ghosts all over the place.
Because as we go
too.
deeper, it shows that he's terrified of his power and how the dad would lock him into the closet so that way he had to hear all the ghosts and he was just scared. So like he's using drugs and shit to get away from it so that way he won't talk to the dead and he can't embrace his power. Right. And then when he gets sober for all of 2 days, like it starts coming back to him and making him panic and freak out, but at the same time he starts like realizing he can do so much more than just commune with the dead. But that's how it is. Like every character, it really like dives into their backstory and shows how their gift is a curse and what the dad wanted to mold them into versus what they ultimately became. You know what I mean? So there were some really great moments. What were a couple of really cool character moments that you enjoyed?
So we're in spoilers.
Yeah,
right?
spoiler.
Okay.
Hard spoilers.
So that number 5, that kid that did that, his acting, I don't know, that he just drew me in, man.
Yeah.
He was good. I loved the number 4 Klaus, like you're saying. I even like Diego a lot. The knife.
Diego's cool. I like Diego. He's kind of a dick though.
He's like your antisocial. He's if there was somebody who was like Batman, he would be.
Oh,
he'd be Batman. And so,
So
the things I like was that throughout the whole season, it got better and better and better.
Every episode engulfs you more.
They always added more stuff. They threw extra stuff into the story to make it draw you in and keep you interested until it climaxes at the end of the season, going straight into a new season.
So, like, the cool thing he was talking about number 5, so the story revolves around number 5 can teleport, right? And he realizes he can also teleport through time as well as space. Like, he could time travel. And the dad's like, you're not ready for it, you're not ready for it, you're not ready for it. Well, at the age of 13, he just does it. He teleports to the future and can't get back. And the future is an apocalyptic one. Like, the end of the world just happened. So when the point that we pick up on modern times, they haven't seen him in, 16 years? Something like that? And all of a sudden, he just shows back up, but he's 56 years old, but he just fucked the math up, so he's still in his 13-year-old body. And this is where you're saying his acting was on point. Because he carries himself and delivers all his lines with somebody who is much older than the kid that he looks like, and has the weight of the world on his shoulders, because as we find out at the end of episode 1, he's talking to number 7 who doesn't have any powers, and he's like, hey, by the way, I saw, like, post-apocalypse, the world's gonna end in 8 fucking days.
Yeah.
8 days from now, and nobody knows about it.
I jumped past when it was all over.
He's like, I have no idea how, when it's actually going down. I just know 8 days from now, the world's gone, we have to stop it.
And then there's all these clues, because we are in hard spoilers right now. So when he jumps forward, sees all of his brothers and his sister dead, okay? He goes to Luther, who's the big strong guy. He's holding a prosthetic eye that he's obviously plucked out of somebody's head because it's bloody. And now he's tracing down the serial number because he's sure this is the reason that guy is the culprit who ends the world. So they start going down that train, till they finally, eventually, figure out that that's not it. I mean, how long are we going to talk this before we get to
so
where
we're not going to dive
going?
way too far in, because there's lots of, like, interweaving subplots that are really, really good, and there's lots of, like, individual episodes that, like, show characters and, like, why they're so good. Moral of the story is, if you're interested, they figure out that Ellen Page does indeed have powers. She's way more powerful than any of them, and the father hid it from her. And she's what causes the end of the world, and so the end scene is them trying to stop her, thinking they're successful, and they're not. And
She's the most powerful of all of them, and the reason that we didn't know she had powers was because her father knew how powerful she was and suppressed it with medication. So, and also, something we didn't mention, is Ben, the guy who's the tentacled, huge monster. Did you say he's dead already?
He's dead.
He's dead.
Just now, he's
dead. Okay, well, sorry. He's dead through the whole thing. So, of course, Klaus is the only one who can talk to him for
Which is hilarious.
most of the movie.
There is some really funny dialogue there. It's really good. So, this is the kind of thing we could talk about for a really long time. We could talk about this show for an hour, but we're going to keep this somewhat short and sweet. Know that the acting is phenomenal, the writing is phenomenal, the storytelling is great. Like, literally, you said every episode gets better. It's one of those shows where you're just like, oh, I'll watch one more. Oh, I'll watch one more. Oh, shit, it's 4 in the morning. I should probably go to bed. Like,
but I'm not going to!
No, it really sucks you in. It's really good. And, there's lots of talk, of Netflix not having the Marvel series anymore.
This is the thing. I'm telling you right now, I couldn't be happier that DC has their own streaming network and that Disney's going to have their own with Marvel, because I have always wished, I've always hoped, I've always talked about, like Valiant has the third largest connected universe of characters. And now we got Dark Horse. We got who's some of the other, Image is tricky because it's all character owned, all the things, so that might be tricky to see some of the Image, but I'm so glad we're going to see a whole bunch of these other universes.
Yeah, so with DC and Marvel,
between Amazon and Netflix.
Yeah, with them having their own streaming services, this opens the door for what lesser known IPs and publishers and stuff like that to have their series be made. Stuff that we might have never gotten if the Marvel deal stayed.
I'm super happy about that.
So we're really excited about this, and like if this is the kind of quality stuff that Netflix is going to bring, fucking all day.
Yeah.
All day. This is fantastic. I like it. Closing thoughts?
No, I can't wait for the next season.
Yeah, I wish we were here now.
Man, I can't wait till the next season. It's crazy.
All right. So thank you for joining us on this episode of like and subscribe.